watching Qtv News, and I am Ajibintu Dwame. In tonight's top stories. On the eve of commemorating International Women's Day, Gambia's police force launches the Police Female Cultural Group. On completion of their vocational skills training, young entrepreneurs from the West Coast region and the Greater Banjul area graduate at a YMCA ceremony. In a bid to foster a conducive learning environment, 3 schools received donated furniture worth over $400,000 from a charity. In business news, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare visits the Empire's Poultry Farm in Farato and urges buyers or farmers to buy from the company to encourage food self-sufficiency. In sports news, as Ghana and Uganda battle it out for the top prize at this weekend's conclusion to the AFCON Under-20 tournament, Gambia's young Scorpions return home with the bronze medal. Ahead of International Women's Day, UNFPA Gambia partners with Fajara Golf Club to use sports to celebrate women's achievements. Well, those were our top stories for tonight. Do stay tuned for the news in detail. The Gambia Police Force on Saturday launched the Police Female Cultural Group at a colorful ceremony held at the police headquarters in Banjul. The event was attended by senior officers from various security services and a cross-section of society. Ansumana Isonyase reports.
Known for its traditional role of law enforcement and protection of lives and properties of members of the public, the police remain an important institution in maintaining peace and order in the country. However, for this extremely talented group, policing goes beyond just arresting and detaining law offenders. And unlike the main police band that provides ceremonial support for civic events and performs at police observances such as funerals and police academy graduation, this group, consisting exclusively of professional police officers, are employing a new way of policing by entertaining and sensitizing members of the public through the composition of beautiful and well-crafted songs with powerful messages. And the launch of this female cultural group couldn't have come at a better time as the world gears up for the celebration of Women's Day, which is observed on the 8th of March each year. In his launch statement, Assistant Police Commissioner Mustafa Ndong, representing the Inspector General of Police, commended the female police officers for forming a group he described as the new face of policing and enjoined members of the public to support them.
We must diversify our crime prevention strategies to be able to meet our policing demands. Policing can no longer be reactive. In this regard, we are now employing more of the proactive measures to ensure that there is peace and security in this country.
Commissioner of Police for Banjul Region, Lala Kamara, says the formation of such a group is not only commendable but historic, as this is the first of its kind in the police.
You will all agree with me that Gambians love and respect culture. Therefore, the Police Cultural Group, in the form of entertainments, will sensitize the public on crime prevention strategies.
Corporal Sophie Bob, leader of the Police Female Cultural Group, thanked the Senior Police Command for supporting and formalizing their existence. Narrating how the group came about, Corporal Bob says the group was formed 3 years ago when they attended a colleague's naming ceremony and decided to entertain the crowd, singing and using empty drums.
That was the time we started this cultural group, started to rehearse with the female officers, until few days when AIG Operations was doing his child's naming ceremony. The bandmaster decided to send us there to perform. To my surprise, everyone came to like and admire the band cultural group performance that very day.
With the group now formally recognized by the Senior Police Command, it is hoped that they will also help the National Police Band that is known for its melodious songs and electric performances during national events. Ansumana Isonyase for Qtv News.
In their quest to support and empower young people in the Gambia, the Young Men's Christian Association held a graduation ceremony for 70 young entrepreneurs from the West Coast region and the Greater Banjul area who had completed their vocational skills training. Yahya Jamo has the latest.
The 400,000 euros project funded by the Finland YMCA aims to train 400 young people from the Greater Banjul area the West Coast region and the Lower River region in different skills, such as solar installation, plumbing, satellite installation, carpentry, designing, hairdressing, tailoring, and a host of other skills. Under their project, improved access to livelihoods for young Gambian returnees and other vulnerable communities, also known as the Work for Peace project. The YMCA have trained 200 young entrepreneurs in these 3 intervention regions since 2019. John Charles Njai, the National General Secretary of the association, explains the objective of the project.
It's a project that is basically to empower young people by giving them the requisite skills training, and also 50% of that amount will be supported with starter capital, materials that they will need to start up their businesses. So in the different fields of carpentry, tailoring, catering, hairdressing, we've given them, as you have seen, some of the items so that they could start their businesses.
YMCA's program director Priscilla Hedgedon says the project aims to change the lives of young people through providing income generation skills so that they can contribute to national development. She, however, said that it was not an easy task for them to conduct and implement the training in the middle of a pandemic.
2020 came with its unforeseen challenges, and through it we have been quite mindful about the health and safety of our right holders and trainers as the situations become more worrying. However, with strict WHO guidelines in place, we were able to successfully implement all planned activities and training scheduled in 2020. It is times like these that our youth are more vulnerable and are prone to a lot of negative influences, especially when we are uncertain about what the future holds with its ups and downs, and to crown it all, the effect of the global pandemic in our lives.
The motivational speaker of the event, Fatou Sengay, praised the graduates for their endurance, efforts, and determination throughout the journey and gave them words of encouragement.
You create jobs because you are empowered to do that. You've been empowered through skills training, which is the fundamental now for young people. The population of every given economy now, we have the highest rate of youth. And the highest rate of youth shouldn't be alarming to us because we know that you are challenged, you have the power to work, you are not weak, you are very strong. And if you go out there and challenge yourself, the road will be very, very smooth for you.
At the end of the ceremony, the trainees were awarded certificates for successfully completing the training. Reporting for Qtv News, I am Yahya Jao.
$400,000 worth of classroom furniture has been presented to 3 schools by House of Action in partnership with Helping Hand Charity to promote education in a conducive environment. This story by Lamin Dabo is narrated by Modu Gajaga.
The 3 beneficiary schools are Busumbara Faratu Lower Basic School, Jamaluddin Arabic School, and Alaji Kamara Quranic School. These schools were said to have been struggling with furniture shortages, which was a great concern to the school's administration and the Parents-Teachers Associations. The Regional Educational Director for Region 2, Lamin Fatajo, explains that education is a right for every child as stipulated in the country's constitution.
This area is one of the fastest growth area in this country. When you look at West Coast region, we have over 43% of all students going to school in the Gambia in this region, and it's growing very fast, to a point that the demands for education are very, very difficult to meet in this region. So especially when it comes to space, when we talk of classrooms and sitting facilities like furniture. So this is a very laudable sort of gesture to the education sector.
In his welcoming remarks, the Acting Village Development Committee Chairman, Samba Balde, said supporting young people in education is a clear manifestation of paving a brighter future for them.
On behalf of Faratu VDC, I must say that I'm very thankful, I'm very happy for the gesture that the Helping Hands have done for this school. And this is a compliment for government and the youths in this village. Since we started work with them just about 3 weeks ago, actually we have seen the collaboration with this Helping Hand and House in Action. Definitely they have done a lot, and we expect what is given to be put into proper use.
On behalf of House of Action and their donor partner Helping Hands Charity, Bakari Toure, said it is obligatory for the youth in every community to unite and contribute towards the socio-economic development of their community.
Two charities have come to know each other in 2015, and through their dialogue they said that they see to it that the two charities will have the same vision for national development. They share in partners, and they have contributed immensely to the social development of Gambia. From that note, we take it from that 2015 to date. We have been sponsoring so many development projects, and our main focus are health and education. And today, this is why today we are here to give a small gesture to our helping hand to education, to the success of education in this country.
In addition to the furniture, the schools also received other items including school bags, water bottles, sportswear, and in the case of the two Islamic schools, Quranic textbooks. Giving the vote of thanks on behalf of the beneficiary schools, Mori B. Nyasi, the head teacher of the Busumbala Faratolo Basic School, described the donation as timely and thanked House of Action and Helping Hand Charity for helping to improve the children's welfare. Quality education cannot be achieved in the absence of good infrastructure, adequate furniture, and a comfortable learning environment for both the teachers and the children. In fulfilling this, assistance from partners are most welcomed. Mamudu Gajaga, Qtv News.
We will take a short commercial break. Still to come, we have business and sports news. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. Now on to business news. The Minister for Gender visited the Empas Poultry Farm in Farato in a bid to establish a strong partnership with government and help farmers increase their production. More in this report by Ansumane Isonyasi.
The visit follows a recent meeting the minister had with women farmers who appealed for government support to sustain their poultry farms. Following a conducted tour of the facility, a visibly elated Minister Kinta says government recognizes the impact that Empas could have in turning the poultry industry into a major establishment that will support government's food self-sufficiency drive. And she called on women farmers to partner with Empas as their broilers are safe and sold at a very reasonable price. However, she calls on the Empas management to increase production and to look into the possibility of reducing their tariff for local farmers.
We talk to the women once more and let them know that here in the Gambia they can get the old chicks cheaper than the price in Senegal. And as we are speaking, Idi is hatching and the women are buying. We are doing a lot of sensitization, informing the women that the old chicks are available. And the next thing we are also going to work on with Idi is the issue of the feed.
Idris Amas Job, Empas CEO, says the minister's visit highlights the important role that Empas is playing in the growth of the poultry industry and its ability to feed the entire nation if properly supported. Responding to concerns raised by the minister, Mr. Job says Empas is ready to increase production and reduce the tariff for local farmers. However, he adds that given the high cost of production, it will require government support.
For cost reason, apart of the availability of electricity, for cost reason, we are forced to use our generator, and for cost reason, the government needs to see how they can help us reduce the NAWEC tariff, or help us be able to subsidize the inputs to our electricity generation. That is our first major challenge. The second challenge that we have is that we are bringing hatching eggs from Europe on a fortnightly basis. And these hatching eggs, there are lots of administrative costs at the airport, and then the government can help us. These are not, the amount of money we are being asked is not much, but we want them to help us with reducing both the administrative and the cost element of bringing the hatching eggs into the country.
Safi Jeng, a poultry farmer, commended Empas for always providing them with excellent service. However, she also called on the government to support MPAS in order to have a cheaper tariff that will also encourage young people to embrace poultry farming. MPAS Poultry Processing Company seeks to produce 100,000 dressed broiler and 2 million eggs per month for the Gambian market, and its integrated poultry project consists of a hatchery with capacity to produce 100,000 chicks, layers and broilers per month to be supplied to outgrowers to nurture. MPAS also has a slaughter and processing plant with capacity to process 1,500 broilers into dressed chicken per hour. Antoine Sonyasi for Qtv News.
Now let's take a quick look at some interesting sports stories. The 2021 Under-20 AFCON tournament hosted in Mauritania comes to end on Saturday when Ghana locked horns with Uganda for the coveted prize. But yesterday it was all about Gambia as the young Scorpions bagged the bronze. Momodu Gajaga reports.
Goalkeeper Lamin Seydi was the hero as Gambia triumphed after a tense, tight affair had failed to produce any goals in regulation time. The teams went straight to penalties without extra time, and Seydi saved 2 penalties in the shootout to break Tunisian hearts. The final score was 4-2 on penalties. The win was some consolation for Gambia's loss to Ghana in the semi-final, and the young Scorpions will return home as bronze medalists. In tonight's final, Ghana faced surprise finalist Uganda, making their debut at this age group tournament. Momodu Gajaga, Qtv News.
Well, congratulations to the young Scorpions. In other news, as part of activities commemorating International Women's Day, UNFPA Gambia partners with Fajaro Golf Club to use sports to celebrate women's achievements. Our reporter Momodu Gajaga was at the Fajaro Golf Course earlier on Saturday, and he now reports.
Bridging the gender gap through the power of sports, golf, tennis and badminton are some of the sports women took part in as events marking the International Women's Day gather space. The theme for this year's commemoration, Women in Leadership, achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world. Remarkably, Fatoumata Jahum Pasise, the former Speaker of the Gambia's National Assembly, is said by many to be the only Gambian female golfer.
International Women's Day, which is a challenge, you know, in everything. So I'm challenging Gambian ladies to come and play golf. People say it's a bourgeois game, it's for rich people. No, I'm not rich, I'm playing golf. It's normal. And anybody who wants to play golf, a Gambian, approach me, I'll give you a bag, we'll help you. We have to take ownership of this golf course. You see what is happening here. There's no Gambian here, only the men, and the men are not more than 10 people, where you have over 50 people. You go to Senegal, they take ownership, Nigeria, they take ownership, Abidjan, Ghana, everywhere in Africa. So I don't know why Gambians are not playing golf. I'm taking this opportunity. Please, Gambian women, come and play golf, especially the young ladies.
Women occupy few leadership positions in both public and private sectors, while their male counterparts assume most of those roles. Despite women constituting more than 50% of Gambia's population, only a fraction occupy leadership positions in government. Using the power of sports to bridge the gender gap could help in equality in many sectors.
To start to educate ourselves on how to include women. This is why UNFPA is working with the Fajara Club to bring women into sports that were not traditionally areas where women, participate. So, for example, we'll be having tennis, golf, and badminton competitions. But women don't really play these sports, and it's an opportunity to bring women together and also commemorate the success of women who are already in this sport. So, this is just one of the activities we'll be having as we go towards the International Women's Day. But we believe that sports has the power to change. The education we speak on gender-based violence, family planning, ending rape, and including women leadership.
Women play a crucial role in society. However, there are issues affecting them, such as maternal mortality, with several women still die during childbirth, FGM, child marriage, and gender-based violence. As we celebrate International Women's Day, we should all examine what we do and what we should do to make a lasting change. Umudu Gajaga, Qtv News.
The Sports Journalists Association of the Gambia on Saturday held its annual meeting in fulfillment of its constitutional requirement. More in this report by Ansumane Esonyasi.
The annual convergence is a constitutional requirement for the executive of the association to report on what they have been doing on behalf of its members during 2019. Unfortunately, this congress was not held last year as a result of the COVID-19 restrictions which still exist. Aliou Cissé, Secretary General of the Sports Journalists Association of the Gambia, expressed delight that the AGM was taking place after a long delay. Cissé reminded the members that activities carried out included the 2019 National Sports Award and Gala, an event to reward and celebrate past and present sports personalities. The event, he said, was well attended by prominent sports personalities within and outside the country. 2019 saw 6 Gambian sports journalists nominated for the International Sports Press Association AIPS Global Sports Media Awards. The association, according to him, also developed a website for publication of sports stories by its members. The GPU is implementing a program to support its affiliates, which includes the SJAG. It is funded by the Civil Society Fund of Denmark, and as part of this project, each of these 6 affiliates will be strengthened on key areas such as policy formulation and organizational administration. They will also send their members to the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication, MAJAC.
We think this will really complement what SJG has been doing in terms of having their members, have their capacities built, and because of that, we've been supporting some of our members to go to MAJAC, because we believe 1 day, 2 days training might not be enough, but then having them go to MAJAC and SJG coming into support will really help. And then we think this program by the GPU will really complement what SJG has been doing.
2019 was one of the most painful years for not only SJAG but the whole country, as they mourned the death of their member and former Vice President, Ms. Sisi Sawane. Delivering the audited financial statement on behalf of the Treasurer, Kadi Cham, Sally Jeng, an executive member, said most of the association's revenue is generated from the sports award event.
A grand total of $815,800 was raised for the year 2019 and the beginning of 2020. Expense recorded mostly for the award stands at $860,240. This is just for the records, as most of the times the president spent his own funds whenever needed.
Musa Cissé, president of SJAG, renewed his call for oneness as he assured members of the executive's commitment to the welfare of its members. He reminded members that the leadership will change, but the association is here to stay.
For me, the SJAG is a family. This is what I say, it's my word, it's my catchphrase, the SJAG family. But how do you deal with your family? What do you do with your family? You must wish the family with the very best. You must be seen to be a family member. You must be seen to be advocating for the progress of the family.
The association couldn't implement any activity in 2020, including the annual sports awards, due to the pandemic. However, there are plans to organize one this year, depending on the pandemic. The executive also planned to organize more training programs for members. SJAG is the legally recognized body of all sports journalists in the country. It is an affiliate of the Gambia Press Union and the International Sports Press Association. Members at the AGM encourage colleagues to desist from being ceremonial members and be more committed to the association, as the association belongs to them. Both the Secretary General's activity and Treasurer's financial reports were scrutinized and adopted by the members. Answane Nyasi for Qtv News.
Before we end this bulletin, let's take a quick look at our main stories. On the eve of commemorating International Women's Day, Gambia's police force launches the Police Female Cultural Group. On completion of their vocational skills training, young entrepreneurs from the West Coast region and the Greater Banjul area graduate at a YMCA ceremony. In a bid to foster a conducive learning environment, 3 schools received donated furniture worth over $400,000 from a charity. In business news, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare visits the Empire's Poultry Farm in Farato and urges buyers or farmers to buy from the company to encourage food self-sufficiency. In sports news, as Ghana and Uganda battle it out for the top prize at this weekend's conclusion to the AFCON Under-20 tournament, Gambia's young Scorpions return home with the bronze medal. Ahead of International Women's Day, UNFPA Gambia partners with Fajara Golf Club to use sports to celebrate women's achievements. And in closing, we would like to wish our producer Francis, all the folks in Ghana town and Ghanaians in Gambia a happy Independence Day. Well, that's all we have for you in this bulletin. Thank you for watching and have a good evening.